They're warning homeowners tonight about a new scam in that city after a man stopped at a home on Florida Avenue. Investigators say he claimed he was with the city and was there to trim trees. This was early Thursday morning. But after getting into the home, another person snuck in and stole some jewelry. Then both suspects left in a white van. One is described as Hispanic, about 5 feet 5 inches tall, stocky, and wearing a red sweatshirt. Anyone with information is asked to call police.
With a simple knock on the door, but it can quickly turn into a violent robbery. Thieves posing as utility workers and delivery men breaking into homes around the country. Lisa Guerrero went out to see if homeowners are being as cautious as they should be.
This guy looks like a utility worker, but he and his pal aren't there to check on the power lines. They're there to break in. This guy, disguised in a UPS uniform, is also a thief. 3 of his accomplices burst in with guns drawn when the homeowner is tricked into opening the door. And this elderly woman is also fooled and robbed when she lets this guy in, posing as a plumber. They're called knock-knock crimes, criminals posing as delivery or utility workers to break into homes.
To see how easy it would be, we're sending out Inside Edition safety expert Steve Cardian, equipped with a hard hat, a vest, and a clipboard, to this neighborhood in Westchester, New York.
He went knocking on doors, posing as a utility worker for the Water Commission.
I'm with the Water Commission. I'm with the Water Commission.
But actually, there's no such thing as the Water Commission. The agency doesn't exist. Watching in a car with me out front is Officer Jonathan Cromwell with the Mount Pleasant Police Department.
Hi, how are you today, ma'am?
Good.
I'm with the Water Commission. We're checking on the water pressure. Would you mind if I come in and check?
Ooh, what do you think she says?
Sure. Your water pressure?
Okay.
Oh!
You sure?
Yeah.
Okay.
If he was a criminal, who knows what could have happened?
I'm actually with Inside Edition. Across the country, there's been dozens and dozens and dozens of people posing as utility workers, getting into the homes and doing horrible things.
We walked up to explain the situation.
So you were convinced.
I was. He played the part. He had a hard hat on.
Were you about to let him in your house?
I was.
At this house, the homeowner actually came outside to greet us.
I was wondering
No!
if I could come in and check your water pressure to make sure that you're not having a problem.
Okay.
You don't mind?
No.
Okay.
No, don't say no. Don't just let them in. That's awful thing to do. Although I do appreciate them going around and warning everyone, which is exactly what we are doing here today. Hello, everyone, and how are you all doing? I hope that you are all doing very, very, very well. Hello, Joe. Good to see you. Do not give them any ideas, by the way. They will write these down. I'm sure that they're watching because I am a famous YouTuber. So, today, I really do want to talk about these scams. The first video that you saw, which came from, was it called Oshkosh? Hold on a second. Yes, Oshkosh. That was the Oshkosh police station. That video was actually from 7 years ago. The video that you just watched, that Inside Edition did, where they went around and they actually warned people about these scams, that was from about 3 years ago. And unfortunately, right now, that scam is surfacing again. That's what the garden hose is for. Yeah, get the garden hose and get them off your lawn. Joe is now at the point in his life where he has become the get off my lawn guy. Good job, Joe. So today, I really do want to talk about the fact that here locally, which also means that I'm sure it's also happening where you are or close to where you are, we are having scammers that are going around and they are posing as city workers. And so I want to take a moment and I want to talk about that today because it is a scam that, as you see, has resurfaced a few times in the past and it is back again. There was even a warning out in August in Toronto, which is where this scam has resurfaced again. And so because of that, I do feel it's very important that I come on here and we talk about the city worker scam because it's probably coming to where you live. So without further ado, I'm going to play my intro and then we're going to get right into it. So, as you see, it says, look out for scammers posing as City of Toronto employees to get into your home. The city warns. Always ask for ID cards. In my city, they always wear them. Of course, they could be fake. And yes, we have seen that before where they have the fake ID cards. So we're going to talk about how to avoid all of this and make it so that you don't get scammed. So it says that homeowners are getting calls from people claiming they need to check for sump pumps and backwater valves. So it's a very specific work that they seem to ask for. As you guys saw in the last videos, they were also talking about these like water systems. Seems to always have to do with that. So the City of Toronto is issuing a warning about who you let into your home after getting reports about scammers posing as city employees. In a Twitter post, gotta love Twitter, the city says it has received reports of homeowners getting calls from people claiming they need to enter their homes to check for sump pumps and backwater valves. The city confirmed in an email to CBC News, which is the website where I am getting this article from, that it does not conduct telephone or door-to-door sales related to basement flooding products or services or sewer line hookups. The city does not endorse any products or services from private companies, the email said. City staff told CBC Toronto they have received 6 calls related to home inspections, but aren't able to confirm whether they're related to this particular scam. But I mean, I am pretty sure that we can pretty much say that they are related, right? I mean, listen, they most likely are. They're advising anyone with questions or concerns to contact the city's 311 line and report the scam to the Toronto Police Service at 416-808-2222. So here is the warning that was issued on Twitter. As you see, it comes directly from the City of Toronto. Every single city, by the way, you all have a twatter for your city. You all have a city line that you can call. Like in Toronto, it's 311. Here in Ottawa, it's 211. Everyone has a 3-number line that they can call, or I don't know, maybe there's more numbers elsewhere. Let me know. But you all have, where you live, a city line that you can call to confirm whether or not that type of work is even being done in your area. And we're going to get more into that. I will even show you the one for Toronto, since that's the city we're discussing mainly today. So it says that the work is not being conducted by the city. Like, it's not being conducted by the city right now. They are not doing this type of work whatsoever. So they say, of course, for questions or concerns to contact, like I said, 311. The city makes it mandatory for homeowners to disconnect their downspouts from the sewer system, but sump pumps and backwater valves are not required to be disconnected. Still, some people choose to install them to help prevent basement flooding, and scammers had taken advantage of that. This summer, there were media stories about scammers posing as Toronto water staff. See, this is what I mean. It seems to always have to do with water in an attempt to enter homes and gather personal information. The city was prompted to send out the tweet after one of its own staff members, which, by the way, that's fucking hilarious, was targeted by this scam. Their staff member, like a city staff member, received a misleading phone call from an individual who claimed to be with the sanitation department. The person knew the staff member's street name and said what they would come by to check the backwater valves and sump pumps. He said it would only take 10 minutes and asked if anyone was home. right? And you won't get a call like that from the city. Once the staff member started asking questions, he quickly hung up, a city spokesperson explained, because of course this staff member would then know exactly what to ask. And if this scammer doesn't have the answers to those questions, of course, he's just going to get scared. He's going to hang up. So again, that's something else you can do, is start asking more questions about what type of work they are going to be doing. I call them morons. I call all scammer morons. All scammers. Pig morons. That's what I say. So like they said in the article, there was a similar scam warning that was issued to residents like in August even. But they say here that according to the city, there have been a number of visits to the city's 311 knowledge base where residents could access information related to city services about home water inspections in the last few months. Again, I am most certain that there is a database like this for every single city. So you can just look on that database if you want to know if that type of work is even being done, especially in your area. Since July 1st, the city said it's seen 42 visits to a page titled Potential Fraudulent Sales Calls About Hot Water Heaters and Water Filters. So again, it seems to always be about hot water heaters, or the big one seems to be like water filters or all of these water type scams. And 76 visits to one called Basement Flooding Protection Program, O'Connor Drive area, seeking permission to enter homes. Back in August, the city issued a similar warning after individuals posing as City of Toronto water staff recently attempted to enter homes and gather personal information, while crews were actually conducting CCTV smoke dye testing in the sewer system. Staff do not need to enter your home to conduct this work, and they will never, ever ask you for your personal information. So if this call ever goes to them asking you for your personal information, know it is a scam right away. If you do receive an unsolicited call from someone claiming to be affiliated with the city, please report it to your local police, and also report it to your city. That's one of the best things that you can do, because then the city will issue a warning out and they will say, hey, everyone, watch out. This scam is happening. I got a call on the other line. Yeah, that could work too. The thing about that though is that then they tend to call you back. It's usually better if you like trump them during the call and stun them a bit. Like I said, start asking them questions about the work they're doing and what's necessary. Do you have to get ready for this type of work? You know, they'll tend to flip out a little bit and be like, oh no, I don't know how to answer. And then they'll hang up the call, right? So that's always a good way to go about like making it so that they don't want to scam you, so to speak, anymore. And then another way, of course, is you just let them know that you are aware that that work is not being done in your area. You know that it's a scam, and do not call back. Again, I feel like if you just get off the phone in any other way without calling them out in some way or stunning them in some way, then they will continuously call you back trying to scam you, and you just want them to go away. Speaking of wanting people to go away, I think it's time to hear from our sponsors. Today's video is sponsored by Tiny Dinger Condoms, a YouTube streamer's favorite brand. Are you a male streamer on the YouTube platform? Do you use your community like a dating app? Do you enjoy flying women to you for escapades and inviting them to streamer houses when they didn't even stream just so you can get with them under the guise of working? Do you love to harass and stalk women who don't want to be in your community anymore, or who found out about the size of your dinger? It's okay. It still works. In fact, it works so well, I bet when you fly a woman out, you can get her drunk in a motel, try to coerce her into sex all night, have her tell you no twice, go wake off in a bathroom, which you'll brag about to to women in future and claim it means you have good stamina, come out and bug her more until she agrees and says, just do whatever you want to get it over with. So, what will you grab for when she finally gives in to these constant advances? We got you, bruh! We know that you'll be all about it. Tiny Dinger Condoms, the best condom brand on the web for those micro penises, for the men who love to use their little dingers even after she says no. Heck, even twice. When you reach over and grab for a box of these, she will think, wow, I want to be raped by a man who uses a tiny dinger condom. And she will give in to the advances no matter what. Then, Tiny Dinger Condoms will ensure she never gets pregnant as it kills any sperm left in existence. You don't want another kid, you probably forgot about one you have already. So, be sure to buy Tiny Dinger Condoms today. Located at your CVS Pharmacy, Shoppers Drug Mart, Rexall, all of the pharmacies around your area, and hidden in your favorite Sears nightstand. Don't worry, they're all the same. Thank you so much to Tiny Dinger Condoms for sponsoring this video, my community tab post, and my entire channel. I appreciate you. Now, back to the video.
This is turning into a rape thing real fast.
Yeah, and I hear that they are starting to sponsor other channels on this platform now. So that is fabulous. If you would like to be sponsored by Tiny Dinger Condoms, you may use such videos. Please just, shoot me a little message under it and say, hey, Queen, I just want to let you know that I'm using this so that I can come and laugh when you put it on your video. That's all I ask. I just want to get the laugh with you if you're going to use it. So again, you can also be sponsored by Tiny Dinger Condoms. So let's get back to discussing the scam. Not that wasn't discussing a scammer, by the way, or anything. Anyway, as you guys see, back in August of this year, even, this scam had surfaced in Toronto again. So I just wanted to show that just because it's a little bit different. So Toronto residents are urged to be vigilant after people posing as City of Toronto water staff recently attempted to enter homes and gather personal information. In an August 10 tweet, the city said it is currently conducting CCTV smoke dye testing in the sewer system to identify defects. However, they said staff do not need to enter homes to do this work. And also, staffs will never ask residents for personal information, and they wouldn't need any personal information from you. All they would ever need, let's say if they did have to go to your house for this, and because for some reason your house, water was running into the sewer, they had to ask you to turn it off. That's all they would do. Right? Is they would knock on your door and be like, excuse me, we need you to turn off your water, please, for a little bit. We're doing some work out here. They would not be then asking you for any more information. So please, once again, if you are ever asked personal information on the phone or when someone knocks on your door, know it is a scam and just end whatever call it is or face-to-face meeting it is immediately. And again, please do call the police, especially if they come to your house. They can get angry. We have seen on some CCTV footage that people have had these workers coming in trying to rob their homes in the past because they either try to get personal information or they are trying to rob the stuff out of your house. And when the person hasn't answered, because, they're sitting there watching them on their CCTV and they don't look as a city worker, let's say. They have tried to break into the house. They have gotten angry. So I do say to call your local police, let them know that somebody has just come to your house and they are posing as a city worker. It is illegal for them to do that. It's very similar to posing as a police officer, although I don't think you get as bad of a charge for such a thing. Where is the water meter? Yeah, see, that's another one that we'll actually get into because there is even a water meter scam where you have to be very careful about that as well. We will talk about that one in future because that one is also very, very weird. All right, Joe, that's totally fine. You can use it. So again, the City of Toronto did issue a warning, and this is why I say please do check your city website, check their Twitters, check their Facebooks, whatever social media you're mainly on. Make sure that you're keeping up to date with the type of work being done But they will also warn you of these scams because they say we've been advised that people are posing as City of Toronto water staff and attempting to enter homes and gather personal information. Toronto water staff are currently conducting CCTV smoke dye testing in the sewer system to identify defects. And then they say staff do not need to enter your home to conduct this work and will never ask for your personal information. Again, you can always contact 311 in Toronto for assistance, questions, anything. Like, call the city and be like, hi, I am at this address and I just had somebody come and knock my door. They are saying that they are checking the water or some bullshit. And I just want to know, like, are you guys even in this area doing any work that would involve you needing to come to my home? And the city of will be like, no, we're not. That's a scam. Thank you for reporting it to us. Always, 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 as they say, call the city. It's the best way to go about it. In fact, I would even suggest that you could call the city while they're at your door. Yes, if they come and knock on your door, they are like, hi, I need to come in and, check your water valve and all this stuff. And you say, oh, okay, hold on a moment. Let me just call the city and ensure that that work's being done in this area. You pick up the phone and you dial 311 or whatever the number is for your city. I assure you they will most certainly get off your front porch and leave because they know damn well that when the city answers the phone and you start asking, the city is going to say, no, we're not doing work there. And then you're going to get upset. Maybe, though, suggest that you're going to call them, close the door, lock it, call them, and then just talk really, really loud through the door. I don't want anyone to be angry with anyone and then have someone like harm. So again, please do be safe. And yes, that's another good point, Joe, is that the real city workers, they would totally let you call. Like they would be like, oh yeah, sure, no problem. Like go ahead and call them. We have no problem with you like double checking. That's how you would also know, right? The scammer is probably going to be all nervous when you're like, yeah, 1 second, I'm just going to call the city and double check and make sure. A real city worker will be like, oh, yep, for sure, ma'am. Yeah, I'll just be right here. And then they will be there when you get back. And the city will tell you that something's going on. But like I said, most of the time, they don't need access to your home. And like they said, most of the time, they don't need access to your home. One other way that you can double check, I'm going to show you, is you can even double check online. So this is, again, the Toronto one because we have been talking about Toronto mainly. So I am using Toronto, Ontario, Canada as the example. So right now here you will see I am on their city website. So if you cannot call, for example, for whatever reason, you can always just bring up the city website and you can actually check to see. You can just type in anything about, like, if they come and they say we're coming for the water valve, you just type in water valve work. It will show up here if they are doing something because they will put like a notice on their website. So it's always good to check the city website if you are not sure. And if for some reason you can't call the 311, another way, like Joe says here, is there would be a city car or truck. They don't use personal cars. Another thing is that there would most certainly be more than 2 workers around. If they're doing work like that, where they are going into sewers and this kind of thing, it's not just going to be 2 people for the most part, especially if it's work big enough where they would have to come to your house, right, and ask you to like do something or shut off water or anything like that. That means it would be a larger job. And these scammers tend to come in 2s. So if you do open the door and there's just 2 guys like dressed like city workers, but then there's no truck for the city outside, you don't see anyone else in sight, your sewer, like most streets have an area for the sewer, let's say. That's not lifted with a bunch of workers standing around it. Chances are it is a scam. And again, please, Joe says, yeah, constructions works with one worker and 4 supervisors. They're all standing. This is what I mean. Now, see, there would be like 10 people around this sewer grate, okay? It wouldn't just be 2 dudes coming and knocking on doors asking people to like turn off their water or let them inside the home. That's the big thing, is they don't need to come inside your home. Even if they need you to turn off your water, you can do that. Most of the time, if the city workers need you to actually turn off your water and it is legit, like I said, they will just come knock on the door and they will very politely ask you to turn off your water. And then again, when you answer that door with that person there, the real city worker, you'll see the truck. You'll know that it's legit. Please do make sure that you let people that are elderly especially know about this. This scam does tend to target the elderly as they are home the most during the day, along with like, you know, us homemakers, us stay-at-home moms and whatnot. But they really do like to target the elderly. So if you do have elderly family members, I do these videos so that you know what type of scams to warn them about, since they are the largest target out there. I'm usually worried about people that don't watch YouTube, right? So please let them know. Say, I was watching a YouTube video that said that there are city worker scams going around again. So just, if anyone ever knocks on your door, Nana, and they say they work for the city, please call the city and don't let them in your house. You know, just do it, because it's good to be safe out there. I just do these Scam Saturday videos. We usually go over a scam like that that's kind of popping off in the moment somewhere, usually local to me though, because, you know, hello, this is where I live. I live in Ontario, Canada. So forgive me for talking about where I live. But the thing about these scams is when they're popping off where I live, they've also been in other places, usually where you live. When there has been work on the water lines, the city does try to warn a few days ahead. See, and that's the thing, is they don't ever just randomly come knock on your door and be like, hey, I need access into your house. Like, it just doesn't happen. Yes, and 3 more bosses back in the office filling out forms. And then they also come and stand around to see what's going on. Listen, we have crappy construction here too. It takes 50 people to fix a road, and 49 of them are standing there watching the one guy do all the work. Okay, yes, that's construction. But again, welcome to being in a union, I guess. And they will not just be 2 people coming and knocking on your door. And again, they won't want access to your house, and they don't need any of your personal information. Like, there is no need for that. Even like your name and all this kind of stuff, like they really don't need even that. They would just mark down your address and like that you had the city valve or something. But this is what I mean. It sounds a little silly, but people do fall for it, because as we saw at the beginning of this, people just kind of see the hard hat, they see the vest, and they automatically think that that person works for the city. Just know, guys, that you can go and you can buy those. Like, you can go to Mark's Work Warehouse here in Canada and you can pick that up. Like, I think you could even get them at the freaking dollar store, those vests and whatnot. Another thing is that oftentimes the city vests actually have the city logo on them in most places. So know what they wear as their actual uniform as well. And then that's another good way. So when you open your door, if they're not wearing that, you know that they went and bought it at Dollarama or something, right? Or even, yes, Canadian Tire. Yes, that's a place here. Okay. It's like Tim Hortons. We only have it here in Canada, I believe. So that's really all I have for you guys today. I had to make this one short, sweet, to the point, because, well, there's not much more to say about it. I mean, these scams have been all over the place. I have provided you examples of them. They've been going on for a good decade now that I'm aware of them happening. I can trace them back that far, but probably longer. It's just, we've only been really reporting scams a lot in the last decade. Again, report these to your city, report them to like the FTC, report them everywhere. Just make sure that if they do come, that you report them. That way the city can issue a warning. The police can issue a warning because they often also do it. Follow your local police. Follow their social media. Again, they will warn you about a lot of these scams. It's fun to come watch me ramble on about them for an hour or two here and there. But at the same time, the best way to know about the scams going on in your area is if you are following your city pages, your police pages. Right? That's like the best way. Yeah, I can't see Canadian Tire getting much traction outside of Canada. Oh, listen, Alves. I'm sorry that my Canuckness shows when I do these videos. But again, if it's happening here, right, us Canadians, we're also very polite and such great people, then that means that it has happened where you live, most likely, or it could happen where you live. And the best way to not get scammed is by being aware of all the scams that can happen so that when they come and try to get you, you are already aware that this is a thing and you can be like, wait a minute. I already know about this. This was a scam I heard of. I'm just going to go double check, because if they're not scamming you, like Joe said, they will let you double check. City workers won't mind you calling the city to double check. They'll be like, go ahead. We called it Canada at a call center I worked at, where one of the centers in our call queue was in Canada. Can't remember which town exactly, probably Toronto, which is the city that we're talking about right now. Toronto's big on the call centers. Even Kingston, where I'm from, which is a couple hours outside of Toronto, is really big on call centers. I worked at some there. Woohoo! I worked for Bell. I've had some jobs in my day, but again, the city call centers will not be calling you about this. That's another thing that makes me laugh, is that sometimes they come to your door, other times they will call you on the phone, and they're not in a call center calling people on the phone. They'll make it known. Yeah, so probably Kingston then. If it was in Toronto, I'm guessing probably like Kingston if it was in Ontario, because yeah, Kingston is like mini Toronto. They want to be Toronto, but they're like really, really small and just surrounded by penitentiaries and like crime. So they're worse than Toronto. But like, yeah, they had a lot of like call center buildings running for a while. And yeah, they ran a lot of the call centers for places in the US as well. I almost got a job at Assurant there, which I found out is actually also a scam. Maybe we'll talk about that one day. So, well, Toronto's a great city. It is. It's beautiful. I've been a whole bunch of times. I used to live in Kingston, which is in between Ottawa and Toronto, in case you were wondering, sort of. So yeah, I've been to Toronto a lot, and Toronto's great. So I don't want anyone there to be scammed by this, but again, or anywhere to be scammed by this. I like to do these videos on Saturday, these quick streams, if you will, just to kind of warn about scams going on so that you can be aware. I have fun with them. I hope you do too. But today I need to go spend some time with my family. And then tonight at about 5 p.m. Eastern, I believe, Alonda and myself, the Recovering Humba and myself, are going to be going live, where we're going to have a lot of fun, actually. We are going to be reading through the manual, if you will, for the ONET and everything and how to use it. It's amazing. She showed it to me last night. You guys are going to laugh so hard which is what we plan on making today. It's going to be more about humor and laughing at the ridiculousness of this written manual with diagrams and everything. It should be a really good time. So I need to go spend a few hours with my family now before I do that. Have a fabulous, fabulous rest of your day. Again, please do report these scams locally if they do come for you. And no matter where you are or what you're doing, I hope that you all have a fabulous, fabulous, fabulous day. Take care. I will see you all tonight. Joe, thank you for modding. You know what, Joe? Bill Bus blocked me, okay? The only person that has not blocked me is Marty, and I only found that out last night when I trolled their chat. Goodbye, have a fabulous day, and I will see you all later to, again, make fun of On Passive, which I'm also going to be doing all week next week. You'll see it. We'll have some fun. Mwah! Bye! Don't fall for the city worker scam. Please don't just let people into your house ever. Thank you.
Goodbye.